The grandson was horrified to discover that the gold jewelry his grandmother had just bought was attracted to a magnet. At that moment, he realized she had been scammed. Without wasting time, the grandson rushed to the jewelry store with his wife. As soon as he pulled out the pieces, the employees assumed he wanted to exchange them and demanded a 20% commission. The grandson was furious and accused the store of selling fake gold. Other customers overheard and started getting anxious. The employees tried to calm the situation, insisting the store was a reputable brand and that if they sold fake gold, they'd compensate 1,000 times its value. They even threatened to call the police for defamation, but the grandson didn't back down. He pulled a magnet from his pocket, and the jewelry was instantly drawn to it. The customers were shocked and began handing the grandson their own pieces to test. As the scene escalated, an employee quickly denied everything, claiming that batch of gold wasn't from their store. The grandson then presented the purchase receipt, the original invoice, and the bank transfer slip. His wife, furious, demanded an explanation, and other customers also started demanding their money back. Just then, the store manager arrived after hearing the commotion and accused the grandson of being a scammer, claiming the documents were fake. The grandson remained calm and suggested they go for an official appraisal to settle the matter. The manager tried to deflect, arguing that even if the documents were real, that didn't prove the jewelry came from their store. He even suggested the grandson had swapped the pieces to extort money. At that moment, inspectors from the regulatory agency arrived. The manager welcomed them with a smile, boasting that the store was a trustworthy national brand. The grandson showed them the fake gold, but the manager discreetly signaled for him to calm down and, pretending concern, promised to refund the money. Then, while the grandson was distracted, he ordered an employee to hand the inspectors a genuine gold piece that had been prepared in advance. After testing, the manager changed his tone and said the grandson could only get a refund if he met 5 conditions. First, he had to prove with a DNA test that he was related to the buyer. His wife argued that neighbors could vouch for them, but the manager insisted on genetic proof. The grandson exploded in anger, pointing out that his grandmother had passed away. How could they do a DNA test? Coldly, the manager added that the grandson also had to prove his grandmother hadn't obtained the gold illegally. These absurd demands enraged the grandson, and he was about to hit the manager when suddenly 2 thieves burst in, stole the real gold sample, and ran for the exit. On the way out, they bumped into the grandson, and in the collision, one of them grabbed the wrong backpack, his, and escaped. The grandson picked up the one left behind, and, upon opening it, was stunned to find it full of gold. He called the manager, who yelled that the backpack had nothing to do with them. The grandson pulled out his phone and started recording, asking the manager to repeat his denial on camera. The manager, unaware, emphatically denied any connection to the gold. The next day, the manager and some employees visited the grandson's home with gifts and apologies, claiming they would take full responsibility for the fake gold. But in reality, they had already seen the surveillance footage and knew the thieves had taken the wrong backpack. They were desperate to recover that gold. The grandson knew it. When he opened the backpack in front of them, revealing a bag full of gold bars, the manager forced a smile and claimed that the gold did belong to their store, and if the grandson returned it, they would resolve the refund issue. His wife urged him not to fight anymore. The grandson pretended to agree, but just as the manager extended his hand, the grandson stopped him and demanded that, in order to reclaim the gold, they must present proof of kinship between the jewelry store's president and its founder, complete with DNA evidence. The manager was furious, but the grandson had simply thrown back at them every ridiculous condition they had tried to impose on him the day before.